I'm here with John Gregory Wright, aka Rookie, world-renowned champion at handball. Has played probably any opponent that has come against him. Rookie, when did you start playing handball?
Well, I started the game at 16 years old in junior high school, and pretty much I used to play basketball. But I said, let me, just hit the ball around because I saw the girls playing, and I wanted to get close to the girls. So I just started goofing around at first.
Where was that?
Lower East Side, Manhattan.
Lower East Side, Manhattan. So what made you get serious about, besides the girls?
Well, the girls really didn't make me get serious about it. I was just doing it to get close to the girls. Then I started playing the game. I was like, wow, I like this game. This is actually fun. And then I just got addicted to the game. I actually loved the game.
No one turned you on to it? Like there was no one that like, hey, buddy, this is a really good sport. You want to come, like, sometimes you get dads that introduce, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's like, maybe like, besides the girls, I mean, like, it's an interesting sport because across the world, if you mention handball, they don't really know. You have to kind of show them a clip of what it is. They're like, because in different countries, when they refer to handball, it's a different type of sport.
Well, basically, it's a New York urban sport, and it's the next best thing to basketball. So they pretty much go hand in hand in parks. You're either playing basketball or you're playing handball.
Did you ever play handball? Like seriously, like at these parks, like for loot?
No. I just recently I only did it for recreation at first, and then I started taking it serious because I loved it more and I wanted to get better.
So you mostly played like in tournaments?
I didn't play in tournaments at first. First I played in local parks, challenging people here and there, and then I started to enter tournaments after I got good.
Okay. Who were you playing at these local parks? Anybody?
I was basically playing anybody. I wanted to play competition. I was a guy who was, who are you? How good are you? And I'll play you. I don't care. I'll keep playing you.
Well, I mean, Buddy, right? Did you come up against Buddy before you got into the tournaments?
I came across all the top players before I got into the tournament. The problem is, when I was coming up, they were way too strong for me. They were older than I was. Mm-hmm. So it was an age gap. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They were phenomenal athletes, mm-hmm. great players, mm-hmm. and they were seasoned pros. So to beat them was kind of really hard.
Buddy has got you by, what, 20 years?
He's got me by a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. And because I've interviewed him as well, and he mentioned, I tried to talk to him about it, but you must have played a couple of games against him, right?
I've played many games against Buddy. I played against him in my weaker years and in my stronger years. Okay.
And in your what would you say your career range from what year to what year would you figure?
Well, it would be from the 90s. I completely dominated the 90s.
Dominated meaning king of the courts,
singles, doubles, you name it. I pretty much dominated the game. The whole 90s.
Did you? That's when you got your A card. You got an A card in the 90s, or?
Yeah, pretty much. When I was like 22 years old, 21, 22, I was just dominating everybody. Pretty much, I was a singles guy.
You were a singles guy. I saw a lot of games online.
Singles was my thing. I really liked singles. I wasn't really that good at doubles, and I learned how to play doubles later on.
Okay. So what do you prefer now? I see you play before.
Actually, as you get older, you like doubles. Doubles is fun. But I mean, I'm still good at singles. I'm really a confident player at singles. I played a lot of great players.
I've seen you. I've seen you play people with a chair in your hand.
Sometimes when you are so, I don't like beating on someone who's weak.
Right.
So I say, let me even up the game. And sometimes I do the opposite. I actually make it me the weaker opponent. I challenge myself. And sometimes I win and sometimes I don't. But you get that challenge, It's easy to beat on somebody when they're weak. Can you beat on somebody when they're strong?
Right.
That's what it's all about.
I got you. So, do you play regularly now?
I play regularly now, and I consider it my life sport. I mean, if you want to get in shape and you want to do something that's fun and aerobic, this is the game.
So you work a full-time job now, but you do still play handball?
What do you mean, work a full-time job? I've always worked a full-time job.
Always?
Always.
Okay. No, because some of the handball players I've interviewed, they didn't work a full-time job. Like, they just played handball.
No, so coming up from 16 to now, junior high school.
Okay.
High school, then college, and then jobs.
Right,
But I've
right.
always had jobs.
Oh, you've always had jobs.
Yes.
Okay. Are you married?
No,
Kids?
no kids.
Wow. You're a single man.
I'm a single man. I was with a female for about 10 years, and it didn't pan out. Well, I don't blame her. I don't blame me. It's just we're in our own separate. She was a beautiful woman.
Do you think you'll ever become like a family man, or do you like the single life?
To be honest, when you're up and coming and like you're the star, you like the single life because the women gravitate to you. They gravitate to power. They gravitate to you because you're the number one man. Like you're in the light. You're the man.
Right.
And you love it. You love all the attention. But to be honest, there's a point where you say, I want to settle down. I want a family. I want to be with a good woman. That's what it's all about.
Right. That's great. Who would you say in your history, who would you say is your toughest opponent in history?
That question, everyone asks that same question, and they really don't understand. How can I best explain it? It's like what Bruce Lee went through. He had to go through multiple masters in multiple different martial arts. So I played multiple talented players, and each one had their own dynamic in the game. So they were all really tough.
Okay, I gotcha. And any more tougher than others? I mean, would you consider Buddy one of those guys? Would you say Timbo's one of those guys?
I can't put Timbo in that class because he's just a great all-around smart athletic athlete. And what happened was he wasn't in my era, so he didn't face my competition.
Gotcha.
So that really wasn't his fault. But I think if he faced my competition, he would still be a great player.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of from two different eras.
Gotcha. In your era, could you name a few that you feel are like worth mentioning?
Top player, Buddy, one of my teachers, Angel Marquez, Freddie. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Wilson, Eddie American,
What parts have you played at? Which ones do you like to play at?
Well, I like Coney Island because it's a big park and it's by the beach and there's a lot of courts. So you always get action there.
Yeah.
I like West Fourth. That's my home park. I mean, we take on all challenges. That's where just the excitement hits right away. You want the action, that's it right there.
So you don't mind the trees?
No.
Because some people I mentioned West Fourth. They're like, I like West Fourth, but the trees, sometimes the shadows from the trees.
So what happens at West Fourth is at a certain time, the sun will cast a shadow. But it doesn't happen at all times of the day. There's times when the court is clear. So that doesn't happen all the time. And it depends on what court. That's only the first court. On the last court or the middle court, you don't have that problem. If you had a big game, you would go to the court where there wasn't a shadow. So that wasn't a problem.
Gotcha. What about Brooklyn? You like any courts over there?
I like the Brooklyn courts. I like St. John's. That's a great park.
Yeah, it is.
So pretty much I like parks that have a lot of courts that are clean and the court is a very solid court. Just a good all-around park. Safety and everything else wise,
Traveling. How much have you traveled for handball? I saw you play a game. I don't think it was in New York. You played against some Mexican dude.
Oh, okay. So
where'd you play that guy? Because it was like a real nondescript video, and it was like it wasn't a full clip, but I got to see a little of it.
Okay, so that game happened in Florida.
Okay.
And this kid was pretty good. He was a hustler, and he called out my left.
Okay.
I was cocky. I was like, I can beat this kid with my left. He's a B player. I'm an A+. I'm a rookie, the greatest. So I watched him warm up, and I knew he could play more than he was letting on, but I still took the chance and played him. And he had an unorthodox game, and he beat me. We were betting upwards of $3,000 a game, and he beat me the first game.
Wow.
There was a controversy call.
Who was reffing?
That's the problem. They were reffing. So
that's a big money game for a...
$1,000 on the line. They're not going to say, oh, by the way, the ball was out. So, I had to take that on the chin. I took that loss. I ran it back. He was blowing me out. Then I almost beat him again. So 2 games, I fell short. It was like 21-18, both games, left to 2. So I was down like some upwards of $6.5 grand. At the time I was making a lot of money in handball. And I ran it back. I beat him and his father 2-on-1.
Wow.
Right.
So you brought your right into
Right, I had to bring myself. Like I was like, do I really want to be down $7,000, or do I want to like take a little hit of 1,000? I wanted to take a $700 hit, but I'll take that over $7,000 any day.
Do you ever get down to Hollywood? Do you like those courts?
I love Hollywood courts. I've played there before. I've had big money tournaments there, and I love the Florida courts. Mm-hmm. They're solid, clean courts.
What was the name of the courts that just played the King of the Courts? It's got like a cage over it. It's also got lights. I think it was I forgot what part of Florida. It wasn't Hollywood.
Flamingo?
Might have been. Nice courts.
Right.
Nice courts. I remember these guys were getting heat exhaustion because it was like they were playing it in like.
See, so that's the problem with Florida. When you're an athlete, you have to train properly no matter what.
Yeah.
So I actually caught heat stroke out there as well.
Did you?
One time. So, you know, you have to be careful in that heat.
Was it because of the low water? Was it just because it was just 100+ degrees?
So, basically speaking, when we're in New York and it gets up to 100 degrees, we really kind of simmer down. We don't play. We don't push ourselves in that heat. It just so happens that's the average over there when it's hot in the summer, 100+ over there, plus the humidity. So, if there's not big money on the line, or even if there is big money on the line, you're really jeopardizing your health to play in that. So it's dangerous, but you know.
How would you prepare?
I would eat right, I would sleep right, and I would hydrate.
Yeah.
I just didn't hydrate enough, and I exerted too much energy, just too much of everything.
Right.
And it caught up to me.
California, you ever play over there?
I never played at California.
Okay.
Everybody's like, oh, why you don't like, California? I played in Vegas, California. It's, they're so close.
They are really close.
It had nothing to do with California. I love California. It's just beautiful. It was about, I feel like I'm being unfair competing at my skill set against a younger generation that I'm stronger than.
Yeah. I gotcha. So you've been to Vegas. There's some tournaments in Vegas. Have you joined the tournaments in Vegas?
I've joined the tournaments. I've won some.
You won some?
I've won the famous jersey, from the Vegas tournament. And it was a great tournament. I love the guy who ran it. It was just beautiful. I love the whole environment, the whole excitement. It's Vegas. I mean, you can't go wrong in Vegas.
No, you can't. I actually love it. I went to Vegas myself, and I wanted to play the big ball, and I went to a gym. This handball guy, I met him on some blog, and he goes, yeah, we don't play that here. We play small ball, 4-wall.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. And when I brought the big ball, they're like, oh, that's B-ball. And like, there's A-ball, they call it A-ball, or B-ball. So I was like, all right, let me put my B-ball away. But I played a little bit. It's a different, they didn't play outdoors because it was cold then, but they had the 3-wall courts as well. Right. And I don't mind that too. That's kind of cool once in a while.
So 3-wall and 4-wall is a completely different game. It's different from 1-wall. 1-wall is closer to tennis. It's just you and the wall, or you and your opponents against a wall. So 1-wall is like beating a drum.
Yeah.
And 3-wall, 4-wall is like playing in a puzzle.
Do you like playing 3-wall and 4-wall?
That's not my main thing, even though I know how to play it. But you can't have a passion for something else when you have a passion for one thing,
Yeah.
You can try it, but I never said, oh, let me hit 3-wall, 4-wall. They wanted me to get into it, but it wasn't enough to draw me to it. Not that it wasn't a great game, it just wasn't enough. My love was in 1-wall.
Do you feel like that is what did it for you to be a winner? Like, you just dominated for a long period of time. Like, what was that attribute that you feel you have that they didn't have, those opponents?
So when it comes to sports and athletes, it comes down to personalities. So my personality is, even if I'm going to lose, I'm going to give myself a chance to win. And, I have intestinal fortitude, and I just want to win. Overall, I have a great positive attitude toward the game and life in general. So, I mean, it's a game. The object of a game is to have fun. So if you're having fun and you're in good health, I mean, why not push it to the limits?
Do you remember that game? I saw that game with you and that kid Justin, where you were down
23-9.
Yes. Talk about intestinal fortitude and coming back and having faith. What was going through your mind like when you were that?
Okay, so let's explain Justin. Justin was a phenom. He was like I believe if he trained hard enough, he could have made the U.S. Olympic gymnast team. That's how great a shape he was.
Okay.
The kid was a tumbler. He was athletic. He was just a phenomenon. He had the drive, the physical drive that I had to stay in shape. He was truly an athlete. So when we went across against each other, it was athlete versus athlete.
Yeah.
So the only way I could actually beat him was to outplay him.
Mm-hmm.
So not only was I athletic, but I was strategic. I had great game intellect. So what happened that day was he was younger, he was more fit, and he was beating me to the punch. So I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just getting outplayed by him. I was like, oh my God. I hit it to his left, he kills it. Left to left, he was just beating me to the punch. So he was doing it faster and better. So I said, if I don't change this, I'm going to lose. So at one point, I said to myself, even if he wins, I'm going to give him the game of his life. You know, I'm going to make him earn it. But not only am I going to make him earn it physically, I'm going to make him earn it mentally. It turns out I cracked him mentally. You know, I hit a couple of shots. I started, you know, talking in his ear, making fun of him. I broke him down slowly. So he broke down mentally and then physically.
I mean, he was stuck on 23 for a good...
Yes. Oh, I corrected what was going wrong. What was going wrong is he's actually a natural lefty. Even though he can use his right. He's ambidextrous. And he can use his right like his left, but his left is the dominant hand.
And he's serving with his right, though.
Right, but that's why he was dominating me. His left is the comfortable hand. And I was like, if I keep this up, I'm not going to lose. So I made a run all the way to 23 up. Right? And then I got point game, and then I got down. And I was like, oh no, I worked all this hard for him to come and win the game. So I said, where did he get all his points from? He got all his points from my left. So eventually he's going to serve to my left. So I was completely still. And then when he went to serve to my left, I ran over and hit it with my right.
Did he say anything to you at the end of the game?
Well, he was surprised. Like, how did this guy generate so much power with his left? Because he never turned back around. But I faked him out and I used my right because I had to. His left was superior to mine that day.
Gotcha. You probably, I don't know, how many awards, trophies, tournaments have you won, you figure?
To be honest, you know, it's not even being arrogant. I've won so many tournaments, singles and doubles, I actually forgot. I actually have enough trophies to open up a trophy store. And medals, that's how many I have. You know, I give them to friends. You know, I give them to people where it matters. You know, me, the tournament matters that I won. So if someone says, wow, that was a great tournament, Rook. God, you know, I love it that you won. You really do. Here, this is for you. And they'll be like, wow, thank you. You know, I want them to get a part of what I got, you know? And that's what it's all about.
Do you ever go back to your mentors and, you know, work with them or chat with them? Or because I see a lot of, like, legends on Facebook and, you know, all these guys that have been around, like, you know, during our era. I mean, you're in your 40s, I'm in my 40s. You know, our era, I feel like, was like a very populated time for the handball, you know.
So at the time, I actually got lucky because I was in what's called the mid-range. So as I was coming up, the top players were coming down.
Okay.
So I pretty much was like a young Mike Tyson. So I came in at the right time with just a destructive force, and I was able to just destroy everyone, you know. And you know, they were coming down. They were still strong, but I had everything.
Rookie, what about some words of advice? You got a lot of fans out there, so what kind of words for advice of these guys that are just coming up in the ranks and they want to get ahead in the handball game?
So a lot of people ask, how can you do this? How could you do that? And I say, believe in yourself. A lot of people limit themselves. I always believed in myself. So if you believe in your abilities and you believe in your talent, you will grow and you will get better. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to trust yourself. And you will not fail. So if I had to give them advice, I would tell them, believe in yourself, train hard, and play with an open mind. Don't underestimate yourself. You're greater than you are, than you believe.
When you were training for these tournaments that you won, could you give them a couple of things that you did that could get them. Some people cross-train. Some people, they're big with the nutrients. I'm just curious to know, like, what your magic formula was.
To be honest, what I did, I'll tell you personally what I did. I did push-ups, pull-ups, and dips.
Okay.
I only did calisthenics.
Oh, okay.
I never did weights. I was into flexibility, power, and speed. And when I used to do them in a large amount of numbers, and I was already fast, so I already had that. And once I got strong and smart, it was like I felt like a superhero out there. So I think everyone thinks my biggest advantage was my physical ability. I think my biggest advantage was my mental ability.
I don't know. That would be debatable only because your power. You're pretty strong with both hands. I mean, you're very smart. You're a smart player, but like your power. I mean, there's not too many guys that could hit it as hard as you. I mean,
that's what
I saw a guy named Power. Remember Power?
Right.
He hit it maybe as hard as you. You guys were blasting it. I saw a couple of games between you two.
Right.
Yeah.
So, again, the question is, how do you beat yourself, right? Suppose you faced an opponent and you had the same physical makeup. How do you beat him?
Yeah.
How can rookie beat rookie? That was the question I often ask myself.
Wow.
So, if I ask myself that question, it's not about power, it's not about speed. I mean, that helps, but it's about making the right shots at the right time to make it count to win the game. You got to be an aggressive athlete and you got to win the game. Your power does help, it does help, but you have to use a weapon that helps you. Not everybody has power. Some people have serves. Some people have hooks. You have to use your arsenal to the best of your ability. And I used mine to the best of my ability.
Speed-wise, what did you do to develop your speed?
Speed as far as running speed?
Yeah, like footwork on the court.
Okay, so I was already fast on the straightaway, so I always had that. For lateral, if you want to build up your lateral, you have to play a lot of singles games, and your legs will adjust to the running fast laterally, because that's what singles is, running fast laterally. A lot of people can run straight really fast, but when you go laterally, they can't do it. That's the problem. That's what makes Timbo great. He moves extremely well laterally.
What about Tavo? Do you think he's...
Tavo moves extremely well laterally. Most top players move well laterally.
Gotcha. And you still play against these guys?
I still play against them. I still know what it takes to beat them. It just takes a lot out of me to beat them. I mean, I gotta be honest,
I know.
They're phenomenal,
They are phenomenal.
So...
Will you come back? That's the big question.
Well, I will be competing in doubles. I don't know about singles anymore.
Do you do you gravitate towards some doubles partners that, you feel like you got good chemistry with?
As of now, not really, but I just mix it up. And I like giving people a chance. Sometimes people go, I just go into war with whoever. They're like, yo, Rook, I want this shot. I want to get a shot out there. Yo, give me a shot. Let's do it. And I go, I don't know, you're not ready yet. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? You are ready. Let's see what you got. and we get in there.
But I mean, like for the Buddha, something like where there's a big purse.
Well,
would you grab somebody that like, hey, this guy, me and him play real well together?
Last time I played with Gio in the Buddha, and I feel like my ego kind of got in the way. He played tremendous the whole tournament. He messed up one shot, and I was like, oh, I can't play with this guy again. The guy played phenomenal, so I would actually play with Gio again. Gio's actually new school, old school.
I think he's got one of the best games out there. He's great in singles and great in doubles.
I think Gio is probably one of the most talented players out there. He's like, he's one of the guys that has all the tools.
All of the tools.
All the tools. It's about him utilizing them properly. But he's a phenomenon. He's got great power, shots, everything.
Yeah, he's got both hands.
I mean, at one point they would I nicknamed him Little Rook. I mean, that should say it all. But I mean, he surpassed that. He's Gio. He's a phenomenon.
Did you ever play with Los? Little
Carlos?
Yeah.
I've never played with him, but he's a dynamite little athlete too.
I'll tell you that.
He's
in doubles, I mean, he's like...
In doubles, he's focused, he has shots, he's sharp. You feed into his game and you will lose.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't miss. He's already have everything set. He's a pretty much set player. He's a set kill player. So
yeah.
you play in this low game and you could get hurt really bad out there.
Yeah, and he's got good power for someone that's like not as tall as you. He's got some power. I'm like looking at his game; it's pretty sharp.
Right. Well, that's why he's an A.
Yeah. So, you gave us words of wisdom. There's no chance of you coming back for the King of the Courts. No way.
To be honest, you know, when you want to compete, you want to compete at 100%.
I got you.
You don't want to compete diminished. The last time I won the King of the Courts, I felt like it took too much out of me.
Yeah,
it really did. To beat these kids, they're phenomenal athletes. They're great players. I mean, I felt it was really dangerous for me. At one point, I felt like, whoa, I think I'm pushing my heart to the limit. So
yeah.
It was like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Just leave it to the kids.
Yeah.
They're exciting and they're great players. Let them play. Eventually, someone will step onto the plate and beat Timbo, and vice versa.
Who do you think is the up and comers now?
To be honest, Dave Velez is someone to look out. I still think Davo and Gio are a threat. Bito, obviously, and you got Kadeem. You know, I believe that their drive isn't enough. You know, when Timbo goes in the tournament, he has his eye on the prize, and that's to destroy everyone and win the tournament. Everyone's like, oh, what if I lose to this guy, whatever. He's not worried about losing. He's worried about winning. So I would suggest, start worrying about winning. Yeah, keep your eye on the prize, really. You know, and then stop worrying about opponents that you don't even know you're going to play yet. They're like, oh, what if I face Timbo? What if Timbo gets taken out? What if this opponent that you were afraid of gets taken out by somebody that you could beat? You understand what I'm saying?
But that is helpful, what you're saying, because that is what got you ahead on the mental side of things. Like, they psych themselves out before it actually happens and stuff.
So, I was the kind of player who, they would be like, oh, this is the big showdown. It would be like me versus another top 8 player. And they'd be like, oh, this game's going to be close. And I'm saying to myself, does this game have to be close? Why don't I zip this guy? Why don't I leave this guy under 10?
Right.
You understand? So when they see me zip top players, they're like, what is going on? This is insane. No, it's not insane. This is what I put my mind to, and it will happen.
I've enjoyed a lot of games you played at. Remember Guz when it was open?
Correct.
That place was some place.
Well, I like Guz because almost any time you went there, you had more than enough play time. So action was inevitable. And then when you sat on the side, you had your pool, you had your...
Yeah, they had cards, they had pool.
You just had everything.
It was a good crew of guys that were playing there.
It's an all-around fun environment. I liked it. And it was a gym, so you could work out, you could train, you could box, you could do whatever. It was great. It was a nice place.
I really wish that place was still open, to be honest.
I miss it as well. It was nice. It was affordable, and you got bang for your buck, basically.
Yeah, you definitely get bang for your buck. I do appreciate you coming down today. I know you're a very busy guy. We look forward to seeing you on the court. Thanks again.
You know what? I would like to thank everybody out there. You know, I know you guys wanted to hear what I had to say. I want you to really think about what I said. And trust me, you will see your full potential. Thanks for having me, guys. And all the best to everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.